You'll both do it.
Just about.
My hand is-
Oh,
there you go.
Let me get that from you and I'll fix that for you. I didn't realize it came up like that.
Did you lose your keys, Terry?
Oh, really?
Would you slap him for me? He won't hit a woman.
I was just overhearing the conversation.
Last Tuesday. Yeah.
So I'm out of the loop.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got 10 o'clock. We'll call this meeting to order, and when we get to the pledges, loud and proud.
Sorry. Just say we thank you today for another opportunity to come into the Commissioner's Court and do the business of the county. Lord, we thank you for all those that work here and that do such a great job. And Lord, we pray that we would make decisions based not only on taxpayers, but upon those that do the work in this county, that work every day to provide the services that the people of this county needs. And we thank you for that. So bless them for it. We pray today that you would help us make the other decisions made in a wise and considerate fashion. We pray that you would always help us to give you the glory and the honor and the praise for all that you do for our lives, that you'd be with all of our first responders, that you'd be with all of our military and our veterans. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
I heard that.
Got it.
All right, so that sound, a group saying the pledge, I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's one of my proudest moments. I love that. It makes me feel good. Okay, at this time, any person with business before the court not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the court. No formal action can be taken on these items at this meeting. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. Anything not on the agenda that anybody wants to speak on?
I will let you know real quick, this is not on the agenda, so.
Go.
Ernesto and Brett are here from TAC Risk Management.
Hi.
So-
Thank y'all for coming. Sorry I didn't get to meet you with you before the meeting.
Thank you.
So, thank you for being here.
Good to see you.
Okay, so we will go ahead and discuss and consider inter-precinct project schedule and staffing. Anything to discuss?
Working every day.
All right. Very good. All right, we'll move on to the big one. Court to discuss and consider approving renewal of the employee health insurance with Texas Association of Counties and setting rates or contributions by employees and reviewing policy provisions and plan options, giving the county judge authority to sign renewal. All right, Kirsten has passed out some information to us. And the very back of it shows all the plans that we have had before us, including the request for the higher deductibles. And it goes from a $500 deductible all the way up to a $2,500 deductible per person, and shows the rates for all of those. Obviously, the ones with the higher deductibles are lower than the current plan. So, my personal thought, I like the 1300 NGS with the RX option. I know we can't stay where we are. We can't maintain what we have done in the past. But I don't feel like, with the past that we've had with COVID and with all the things that have gone on in the last year and with the current situation with the claims, I think we should have more information out as to what all TAC provides, all the plans and options and incentives and information that we can get to people, and then start putting those into place. First we educate and we put those in place, and work on as we go forward, getting that information out and getting people more involved in our program, because it's us. It's all of us that will end up paying more for that, all of y'all. If we don't do better for our insurance, it's going to continue to go up. We're at 111% on our claims, which means that that's 11% over the 100% that is in claims. So we pay so much per year for our policy, and we pay so much more. The insurance pays that 11% more than that in claims. So that's probably clear as mud, like the Brazos River or Bull Creek. But we're upside down. We're underwater basically with our insurance. Looking at other options going outside of, we've discussed that. It's just not possible. Nobody's going to take us with us being upside down like that. So if we start working on bringing those claims down, if it's a doctor's visit, go to the doctor. If it's an ER visit and you have to go to the ER, yeah, go to the ER. But if it's not necessary, if it's just you need to go to the doctor, but you choose to go to the ER, that needs to be, people need to know the proper way to use the insurance. And that's going to be on us to educate, I think, as a group. So my personal opinion on the insurance, and we can discuss this as we go forward, is the 1,300 NGS with the RX option, and the county pick up the difference this year. It's not a huge difference. It's 20,000, I think, for the year. And we use the tools that we have, that TAC, that the Blue Cross Blue Shield has, and we use those to educate and try to bring those down over the next couple of years. So that's my spiel this morning.
You're saying that a lot of folks go to the
Not a lot. It does happen though.
emergency home.
It does happen.
But
It's
it's
not a
not that.
lot. That's not the biggest driver of our claims.
Okay.
So the
I
biggest
misunderstood
driver.
the way you said it.
Okay, I apologize.
No, it's my brain cells.
So catching things early, catching cancers early, catching diabetes and heart problems and things like that. If we catch those early by using our plans and getting tested yearly, that will make a difference in those claims to where it's not a catastrophic event. So, any thoughts?
Well, I like, that's the one I lean to.
Mm-hmm.
The 1,500 deductible, I believe the RX is 100 deductible,
Mhm.
which one prescription will catch that and wipe that out, and then it goes back to the whatever, $5, blah, blah, blah. We still, even at that plan, we still have fabulous insurance that a lot of people don't have.
That's true. You're saying the 1,300, like as the judge was
Yes,
talking about?
yes, it's
Okay.
1,500 deductible. and
Yes.
100 on prescription. And the prescription is not, that's a one-time deal per year. And there are very, very few, if any, that have the current plan we have. I mean, it's fabulous, but you pay for it. God, did you pay for it?
Larry?
Is that $1,500 per family member or
Yes.
just family unit?
Per family member. So right now, the one we have is $500 per family member, maximum of $750. This would be $1,500 per family member, maximum of $4,500.
And what it basically amounts to as far as the increase in cost, and Kirsten can correct me if I'm wrong, it comes out to about $8. Am I right, Kirsten?
$8 for employee only.
Okay.
So it goes up from there depending on the plan, but yes, $8 for employee only.
So,
It's about $20 for the family.
okay. And I mean, in order to maintain, to make it affordable for y'all, us, we're all in the same boat, and still make it affordable to the county, the deductibles have got to go up. They really do. And if you think 1,500 is bad, I would be willing to bet if you took an average of everybody in town that offers health insurance, that their deductible runs from 2,500 to $5,000, depending on where you go. That's just me.
On the TAC plans, what is the average deductible deal now?
When Kathy was here, she said 1,500.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'm with the risk management side. I would love to be able to entertain
All right.
that question, but.
Thank you.
He's here because he thought we might need some.
Huh?
No, no.
Yeah, we are always at risk.
Actually, we're visiting with me about the roofs.
Oh,
That's
never mind then.
all.
All
You're
right,
in good
my
hands.
mistake. I apologize.
We'll
So-
answer that deductible question on.
On the roofs, yeah. Yeah.
Give her a break, good.
All right. So from the employees, I know there's a lot of you here, and I appreciate every one of you at all times, and I appreciate you being here especially, because this does affect you. So are there any thoughts, any questions, any input?
Any ideas?
Okay, for my main thrust then going forward, and I appreciate Dana taking on desiring to educate, but not only words and giving out forms or giving out letters or putting things in writing. The Internet of Things is here. And those things, like the iWatch, is capable of letting you know that you've got COVID, you're about to have a stroke, you're about to have a heart attack. How does it know that? Because your heart rate changes whenever you're under stress. And so that's when pre-having stroke, pre-having heart attack, pre-having COVID to where you're emergent, it can tell you that you need to be seeing a doctor today. And of course, we all know that we can't get into doctors very quickly. So telemedicine is going to be the next option. And with diagnostics that can be seen by the doctor right where you are as technology progresses, and I believe it's there on a lot of these things, you're going to be able to talk to someone immediately. And this has been going on for some time. We've had nurses already that we could talk to or call 800 number. It's on your prescription, on your county insurance card. You can talk to those nurses if you're having a problem, if your children are having a problem. Now we can talk to doctors as well. And then as we are able to get the technology that we need in order to monitor our bodies, maybe we can head off some of these claims that we're having because we're at such an advanced stage. We've already had that stroke, or we've already had that heart attack, or we've already had cancer that has progressed to a stage that it's going to cost a ton of money going forward. So the next question is, can everybody, who in here actually is wearing an iWatch right now?
I don't have any Apple product, I have a Garmin.
Okay. And I don't, does it also monitor
It
your
does.
your heart
Does your body
and,
battery, your heart rate.
and
all of
keeps
that.
a record of it? So it can it tell you if you're under duress?
Mhm.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
And that's not
mine
just
does.
exercising, right?
I'm sorry, what?
It's not just exercising.
No.
That it's
it
able to
tells me
do
all
that.
the time.
you your stress level.
Okay,
Tells
good.
me my body
Awesome.
battery, my stress level, all of that.
So that's awesome. So I believe that we need to find a way to make sure that everybody can afford some of this technology. For diabetes, we need to be able to get the monitor. It's 30 days.
Terry.
It tells you when you ate too much sugar. You're not going to like that, but
That's one
A lot
of
of
the
people.
benefits of TAC.
Mhm.
They have those programs
Good.
for free
Mhm.
at no cost to the employee.
that will supply those electronic devices.
They have
with-
blood pressure cuffs.
Okay.
They have a diabetes program. They have where you can get a discounted rate for your Garmin.
Who takes the
whatever.
blood pressure?
You do.
You do,
Okay,
They
It
send you a
keeps
blood
them track.
pressure.
okay.
and it sends it to your phone and
Okay.
it keeps an average. So that's the benefit of being with TAC is they have all of these programs already in place for our employees to take advantage
And of
of.
course, the thing about a blood pressure cuff is that it's not with you all the time. Whereas a monitor that you're wearing on your wrist is.
Mhm.
It's with you all the time. So if you're out in 110-degree weather and working like some of our guys do, and you're under duress, you don't need to continue doing what you're doing and have a heat stroke, right? So we need wearable technology that's with us all the time. We need to know, whether you want to know or not, you need to know what your blood sugar is after you've eaten and because of what you have eaten. And if we can keep this down, then we're able to not see this 11% over 100% going forward. And so there's lots of things that we can do to mitigate the problems that we have. And it'll start with education and wearables. Either that, or we're going to go to $5,000 deductibles because our insurance is going to increase continuously going forward. And who wants to do that? None of us. We're going to have to manage our own health. And we're going to have to desire to be sure that we're not being overloaded. Now, there's another thing that all of us can do. And this really came to the forefront in my family just this last February. Michelle wasn't telling me, my wife, for those that don't know her, she wasn't telling me that she wasn't sleeping. She said I was looking at Facebook and fell asleep in the chair. Well, this went on for about a year, and find out that she's not sleeping because I take her to the emergency room. She's got AFib, and she's not even 60 years old. COVID had put her under such stress, worried about her kids, excuse me, worried about, getting it, her dad, 90 years old and passing away, my mother, 93, passing away. And it put her under such stress that she just couldn't take it. I didn't realize this. Well, what I'm saying is that what I could have done was to continue what I had done for the last 20 years and go and get diagnostics done, because the ultimate problem was not just not sleep, it was low B12. Her vitamin D wasn't exactly where it should be. Her hormones were out of whack. And when we got all that back into perspective and got the things that she needed, she's even better than she had been before. And so the diagnostics that are out there now, and this is so difficult because most doctors, I was 40 years old whenever I first decided to ask my doctor to test me for vitamin D, for example. He said, we do not test young people. We only test older people. You're over 60, 65. And I've done enough research. I just told him, I said, look, I've done the research. My understanding is everybody's low in vitamin D in the United States because we've slathered on so much of this sunblock. That, because, if you know where vitamin D comes from and you know what it takes to get it, then we do that. But we're so afraid of skin cancer that we don't do it. And so went and got tested, and he was shocked. We were below the lowest minimal level, both of us. And he ordered a synthetic prescription that didn't work for my wife. I didn't take it because I'd done the research and knew of a natural way to get it. And sunbathing as well. Short periods of time, if your skin starts getting red, you don't get vitamin D any longer. And so I could go on forever about that kind of thing. But if we would do diagnostics, they cost us nothing. I have never paid one time to go get blood drawn and find out where all of my minerals, vitamins, cholesterol, triglycerides, so on. I've never paid a dime. Blue Cross Blue Shield has always paid every bit of it. I don't care if it costs me money, I would still do it. And I will promise you that I will do it from now on, because none of us, just looking at each other, can tell where we are with our hormones, with our vitamins, minerals, whatever. Now, they can't test all of them. Copper can't be tested. But there is enough research to know that we are low copper. We're high iron because everything that we have that we buy in the middle of the grocery store is full of iron, even baby formula. God says breast milk doesn't need it. Man says, yeah, baby formula needs it. So we put 16 milligrams of iron in it. You cannot get rid of iron unless you give blood or you're menopausal. And so the only way to do that is to be a lifesaver and give blood ever so often, and then check that so that you're not getting too low iron, because that's what I did. I gave so much blood, I was low iron, low ferritin. So there are a lot of things that we can do going forward. If we don't want to see our deductibles continue to rise, we're going to have to manage our own health. We're going to have to learn to move, because the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump like your heart does for your blood. The lymphatic system requires that you move. So if you're sitting at a desk all day and you don't ever stand up, and you're just working away, just standing up makes a difference. So this is one of the things that TAC teaches. Stand up every 10, 15 minutes, and then sit down and go another 10 or 15 minutes. So drink a lot of water. Make sure it's good water. Structured water is the best. And we can talk about all that stuff as we get educated if you want to learn about it. But we've got to do something going forward to stop or to mitigate the cost of insurance. Yes, sir.
I have two questions. So how often can the employees go to get diagnostics run?
Oh, certainly every 6 months without having to pay for it.
Every 6 months?
But even or annually. It depends on the person and how sick they are. You know, what's wrong with them?
Like, how much does the insurance cover?
The insurance has always covered mine 100%. I never have paid a cent.
So we can go over and over and over again? Like every week?
6 months to a year. I don't think they're going to pay for it every month.
Okay.
They would pay for it as needed.
Yeah.
So if you
If-
needed to.
So if you were really sick and the doctor says you need diagnostics, well, then it'd do it. But a lot of medical doctors will not do that. But now LabCorp, I don't know if they still do it or not. You could get a doctor to come on and give you the exact diagnostics that you wanted. And they would send that to LabCorp and they would take your blood. Now LabCorp's the one that's in network. And it's at Lubbock, it's at Big Springs, it's at Abilene. It's about anywhere you want to go. So I don't know that our lab out here is in that, but I'm telling you, a lot of the diagnostics that are done that doctors order, regular medical doctors order, are not enough. You need to go to your urologist and get testing done there for hormones. That's where Michelle and I went for hers, and she got the pellets, right? I can't believe the difference in that girl. She is way different.
What's your other question?
So
So the second one was, how can we get these wearable devices, and like, how do we sign up for the programs that the treasurer mentioned?
And that's exactly what we're trying to get to.
Right.
So Dana back here is with the health department is going to start an educational program. We're going to also talk to our county attorney, because we can't just go out and willy-nilly buy things. But as Kirsta just said, TAC already has a way to get some of those devices to us. Now, whether or not we can get the wearable on the back of the arm, I'm not sure that judges glucose.
Yeah, they have different programs. They're all in our health insurance book. They have information about it. But
I'll show you some of those later, Tim.
But I also have information and contacts if any employee needs them.
Okay. Dan?
One thing that I would like to say, and I appreciate Terry, because Terry, you're right. Dan, I appreciate you. We've had some discussions. This last year has been one of the worst years in the nation for everyone.
Oh.
Everyone has been affected. Family members have been affected. And to answer Sean's question, any ideas? One of the ideas that I would like to see is for our safety meetings to be instituted again. And whenever we do those safety meetings, all of the things that we have available to us that none of us know. None of us actually, and honestly, take time to read the fine print to see all of these things are available to us. Terry researches everything, so Terry knows all of these different things that are available to us. Most of the county employees don't realize all of the things that are available to them. And what I would like to see is everything that we've been through with COVID, let's try to put a positive spin on it. Because if nothing else, everyone has figured out I'm responsible for my own health and I'm responsible for taking care of myself. And we do have excellent insurance. And I, for one, I appreciate it because I have had to use it at some point. And everyone in here has had to use it at some point. But what we need to do is we need to utilize all of these things that are available to us, because here's to just hit on just the top of the iceberg. There are so many of these programs that we can take, and we can put a positive spin on what happened to us this last year and learn from it and grow from it. And I really think as far as our insurance, because as Terry said, we're responsible for our own health. We cannot expect someone to take care of us. You know, it's going to be up to us. But I really think a good start would be the safety meetings where the employees come, we sit down and we break it down. We break it down into like a couple of things. Okay, did you know that this is available for your plan? Did you know that this is available for your plan? And start doing some healthy county, the healthy county challenges, the things like that. I think that's excellent. And I know my employees, I know that they want to see things look up. We're all ready for something optimistic because it was truly a tough year for everyone involved. And so I think from here, it's really gotten everyone's attention. And I think now's the time for us to start taking advantage and taking responsibility for our own health. It has to start somewhere. So I think that would be a good place to start.
We do have a safety meeting planned July 15th, and it's going over those plan options.
And that's awesome.
Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure that the court really make sure to look at all the plans. I'm against HMOs, but even maybe the HMO may be a possibility based on the negativity on some of these other plans. It may actually outweigh some of the negative impacts of the current plan. So I want to make sure the court does that. And also remind the court and the county employees that we have our own ambulance service. Highly educated paramedics, that we have diagnostic machines that cost $25,000, $30,000, that we can look at your heart rate. Yes, you have to come down to the ambulance service. We can come to your department, do blood pressure checks, glucose checks, stuff like that. But it's free. So you might as well take advantage of the ambulance service that the county pays for.
Glucose checks, when you're just doing it yourself and you're diabetic, you can make that look any way you want to. So you take your glucose before you eat your large piece of pie or cake, and I'm good. And so you eat your cake, and then your blood sugar spikes like crazy. So if you want to be honest with yourself, go down to one of the pharmacies and pick up an A1C kit. You can't cheat. It tells you what your blood glucose levels have been for 90 days. And you can do that yourself. And so do that and find out if you're at 5.8 or are you an 8 or a 7. And if you don't keep that down, you're on your way to diabetes. And that's what is plaguing this nation.
Can I make a comment real quick? And I know I'm not the only one, because I know there's some other single moms in here. I understand where you're coming from with the healthy and the pushing all of that, but you have to take into consideration the excess cost of going and picking up said tests or eating healthy versus, like, we try to, it's just Ella and me, obviously, but whenever you have like 4 and 5 kids and you go to the grocery store, like, I understand we have to increase and the rates are going to increase, but you have to take into account also our pay scales don't go up, and we're already versus, you mentioned these other entities and these oil companies are offering, bukus to come work for them. The insurance is not as great. I've been here 16 years. Okay. I get where you're coming from. I do. But with the pay scales not going up, but yet the insurance continues to increase. Whenever I came to work here, it was for the benefits. It wasn't for the pay. It's just not. Groceries are expensive. Medication's expensive. there's not always ways to not have that medication. Like my child, for instance, is an asthmatic. She can't help that. That's not something that she herself, I mean, she's in the basketball gym 5-6 days a week, running nonstop, working on that. We do everything we can for her not to have to go to the doctor. So that's one thing to take into consideration is the excess fees. Yes, the vitamins. You go to Walmart and pick up whatever, B12 or the pharmacy, whatever, you're looking at an extra $100 a month just on vitamins.
You're going to Walmart to buy them? I'm telling you that you're not getting
Well,
what
I'm
you
just
need.
saying in general, most people don't run down to the pharmacy or to the health food store. Those are like the cheapest, the place you can get it the cheapest to do what you're doing. And it's still,
It's just not effective. You're wasting your money.
right, exactly. And I agree with that. I'm not saying that that's what the issue is. I'm saying at the health food store even, those are marked up another $10, $20. So if you think about it, you don't just have the fee for the insurance. You have the extra grocery fee. You have the extra vitamin fee. It all adds up. It does.
What is the extra grocery fee over what you're paying now?
Oh, you can
You're
go to
talking about
McDonald's.
eating, you're talking about eating healthy?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can go to McDonald's and you can order off the dollar menu for $10 and
Okay.
feed 2 people versus if you, I don't know, like, say you go to the grocery store and you buy chicken and vegetables and you're looking at $400 a month.
Mhm.
And I know I'm not the only one that has a child that easily, yeah. And I know I'm not the only one that has a child or children. It adds up. They eat you out of house and home.
I've been
I mean, you know, so I'm just saying you have to consider the pay scales along with, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that started working here for the benefits. I mean, because honestly, like I said, I've been here 16 years and I could make more anywhere else.
And,
I just
and you know
haven't.
what? Some people make that choice. Here's the
That's
thing. I started a business in '82.
Mhm.
I raised my kids without any insurance whatsoever. Low salary because it took a long time to build that business.
Mhm.
I didn't have any health insurance till I came here.
Have you tried to hire decent employees lately?
I'm not going to hire an employee in my business because
Okay,
it's too
But
dangerous.
like our office per se.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to get somebody that's qualified?
There's nobody that can
Exactly.
hire anybody right now because nobody wants to work because our government is paying for them to stay home.
Well, and that shows that there are plenty of other employers. I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to argue with you, Terry.
No, I
I'm
know
just
you're
saying,
not.
like, from a single mom point of view
Mhm.
versus, I mean, you have to take all of those things into consideration.
Okay, so single moms get child help, right, from their parents.
No.
They're supposed
Not
to.
always.
Are they-
No,
they-
in fact, mine is so far behind,
Okay,
and I know.
and I know that happens. I know it
Right.
does. Okay, so here's the thing.
Like,
See,
I told Judge Armstrong I'd be responsible for my kids' insurance, and I have. I've worked since I came to college here. I've always been responsible. I pay for my kids' insurance because I'm a responsible person.
Right.
I came on from Patterson's Drilling to work here, benefits, better insurance, and so I got paid $867 our last paycheck after insurances were taken out. They put the insurance on us. That's going to be an extra $200 out of my paycheck. Leaves me about $600 something to raise 2 teenagers on my own. And I'm not blaming you guys, or I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to stay working. I'm trying to continue to do my part and not live off of the government assistance. And then I'm being punished in a sense for trying to make sure my kids have insurance. You know, so that makes it difficult on us single moms or families or whatnot. You know, that's a lot more pressure on me. So I either have to get another job, work 2 jobs, leave my kids home alone, or find another job. And so, you know, I just want you to consider as single parents trying to do the right thing and not live off of the government assistance. I don't want to be on government
Thank you.
assistance. I push myself to work and my kids to work, you know, so.
And if I'm not mistaken, you're right above that line anyway.
I
And
don't
I was
qualify
just
for
to say,
Medicaid,
in
and
all
I'm
honesty-
barely, you know,
below
$600
it.
is not a lot of money to support 2 teenagers and
No.
myself. And I don't have family here to live off of, or they give me money, so I do it all alone.
All honesty, single parents, we can't get any assistance because we make too much money. They say we make too much money. I can't get any assistance with health food or anything like that. And as far as my case, my son's mother's supposed to be carrying the insurance, but she's not. I'm not going to let my kid go without insurance. So I cover the insurance. And as far as, you know, you saying child support, I get $140 a month. That's not a lot for a 17-year-old that can eat $180 in 3 days.
And so, guys, we got to change the paradigm. We've all believed that disease can only be managed. It cannot be, your body can't heal itself from autoimmune disease. That's really not true. I was an asthmatic. My brother died of asthma because he didn't know what I know.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah, that's
now.
fine.
There are diabetics, type 1 diabetics. They have
I'm not
absolutely
talking
no
about
control. But you're talking about autoimmune diseases.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm not talking about
but-
type 1, but type 2 is a totally
Sure.
different scenario.
Sure,
They've healed
but-
it many times.
Sure, but there are many people that are not type 1 diabetic.
Out
or
of
type 2
all of the
diabetic.
people, 10% of the nation is diabetic.
Sure.
Of those 10%, 1% is type 1.
Right.
We're not talking about something that has no.
You were just saying that autoimmune diseases
I
can
didn't
be
say all
cured.
autoimmune diseases. I
Right.
said that autoimmune diseases, for the most part, can be. There are exceptions to every rule, is there not?
There are, but the generally on autoimmune diseases, the exceptions are not as great as the rule. Yeah, and
You're
asthma,
saying that there's many more exceptions than type 1?
I'm saying there are many autoimmune diseases that you can't just get over.
I did.
That's you.
That's right. And so can other people if they do the same thing I did.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say that I'm with Darcy, Jessica, Leroy. I've got a 13-year-old brain tumor urologist.
Okay, sweetie.
Endocrinologist. I'm an only parent. I'm not a single parent. I'm an only parent. I do this on my own. I'm here 10 hours a day. So, I mean, $8 may not be much to you. $8 is a lot for me.
Well, it's $8 just for the employee. That's not counting like if you have a family plan. It's gonna be more for that, correct?
I think they
Oh, it will.
have discussed absorbing
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
So the
That's-
only thing that would be increased is the deductible.
Right.
And that's also why I have suggested, along with Kirsta, our treasurer, that we couple a pay raise in during budget to pay the difference. But here's the deal. If we continue to have the type of health insurance that we have that has a low deductible, everybody's running to, even though it's not the major cause, the ER every time the kid gets a cold. Every time that we have a sniffle. My wife did that with our kids. No insurance, we paid for it. But
It's you, not
we,
us.
if you don't have a higher deductible, you're going to continue to use. I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about everybody. If it's cheap and easy to do, I'm going to run down there. That's what everybody does.
I don't.
United Healthcare has given a limit on ER visits that are non-emergent. There's other health companies that are doing the very same thing. It's going to get to where they won't cover it because people are utilizing those services for things that are not emergent. And so here's the deal. We've got to start managing our health, just like Dan said.
So can you honestly look at Ella or look at Leanne's daughter and tell them there's something they have done wrong?
I want to tell you something,
And
Darcy.
that's why their health is the way it is.
If I look at every individual and I care about every one of you, no, me personally, I want to give it to you without a deductible. But then on the other hand, we are responsible right here for what the taxpayer is paying. And when it becomes,
Are we not taxpayers as well, though?
when it becomes 10% of the budget and it's going up every year, that percentage. That's why we want to do the education. That's why we want to use the devices. That's why we want to stop as much as possible from having utilizations that shouldn't be needed if we're managing our health.
Do you not think that we as parents are doing everything we can to keep that down?
What you know, but do you know enough?
Terry, do you know how many specialists I've been to with my child? How many specialists Leanne's been to?
I'm not talking about specialists.
And
I'm talking
I
about
understand
your
from your
own
point
health.
on doing like we do our yearly
Things that are already.
exams, we do our yearly checkups, we do our blood work. We are signed up to do the blood pressure, the glucose checks, and yes, that's all through tax. We're doing our part as well. But my daughter at the moment has 5 specialists in Temple
Of course.
that we deal with.
What we're dealing with right now, those that are already there, we can't even go there. We can't stop that. That is going to continue until that baby is cured. And we're praying that she is. We can't do anything about that. What we can do going forward is do what Dana said, get more education, get more understanding, and use technology to help us going forward. We can't do anything about type 1 diabetes. We know that. But type 2 is not something that can't be done something about. It's being done every day. I know multiple doctors that have cured type 2 diabetes. Now, they can't say that, but it's it's been managed so well, there's no more, they're not taking in insulin. For the first time in my history of watching television and seeing commercials, we now have a commercial on that says if you're obese and you're over this much for women and this much for men, that you are insulin resistant and that's why you can't lose weight. That's the first time. And then they've got this medication that you can take to help you not be insulin resistant.
Jason.
I don't think we all know what's actually on the table. What Sean and you recommended.
Okay.
And maybe all the rest of them agree on.
Sure.
Maybe that would help.
Okay.
I didn't do my part.
That's okay.
In getting the research from Kirsten.
That's okay. And I'll tell you this.
I guess it would be helpful if all the employees knew what's being presented.
Okay. All right. Currently, the plan is a $500 deductible with a $25 office primary visit copay, $25 specialist visit. Emergency room is $100. Prescription card is $520 and $35. With the 13 NGS with an RX option, it is a $1,500 deductible per person, $4,500 for the family.
Sorry, $4,500 out of network.
Out of network. I'm sorry, $1,500 per person, $4,500 out of network. Yeah, I looked at that wrong. Max is $3,500 where it was $2,500 for in network. Office visits are going to be $30. Specialist visits are $40 and $150 for emergency room visits. And then a prescription deductible of $100 and prescriptions stay the same at $520 and $35. So the deductibles would go up in the office, but office visits would go up a bit.
And then what is this current proposal? Was the county willing to help cover?
My suggestion is to cover it all for now this year.
Well, there's none of us in here that knows what the other person's going through.
Sure.
No.
And it's not our place to say what I should have done, what Craig should have done, what Dan should have done, what Kirsten should have done, what Jason should have done, what Leroy should have done. That's not our place. We don't know. You may think you know, but you don't. So we're trying to keep the best health insurance for y'all, okay? The deductibles gotta go up, okay? And I do know this, that when it comes to, God forbid, you have to go and you have a $1,500 deductible for whatever reason. I do know this, if you will stand flat-footed and tell them, let's talk about it, they will help you. I do know that.
Who will help you?
Let's say you go to the hospital.
Oh, you're saying there.
If you end up with a have to pay $1,500 for whatever, if you say, Okay, we're gonna have to talk about it soon better than that. Or whatever, and they will work with you. I know that person. But like I said, we're trying to keep the best for y'all, which includes us, at the cheapest rate. And we're gonna be going through this next year.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was waiting to see if you would. We're foolish if we don't think this thing's gonna just keep climbing.
Oh, it's going to.
Well, and that's why we want to put those get the information to everybody that works for
We
us
can
on
get
things
the
that can improve.
information
And it,
to them, because I need plenty of information. I've eaten ice cream all my life.
yeah,
You know, but doing it is two different
Absolutely.
things. Of
absolutely.
course, when you get near 100 like I am, it don't really matter that much, but, you know, this is gonna be this way from now on.
It will. And what we gotta do is work on getting those
We
claims
don't
down.
think we're gonna not be in here next year at
Right.
this time.
That's,
Going
if we
through
can
our
work on
same deal.
getting our claims down, that's gonna help.
Well, if we could do that, but if the dog didn't stop, he'd got the rabbit.
Dan?
I would like to clarify something that I was talking about earlier on. There are going to be people that they're predisposed to genetic issues. They are. There is not one thing that you can do about that if you do have that in your hereditary, your DNA, your genetics. And this is one thing that Terry and I had a discussion about. And Terry and I have always had a great relationship. We've bumped heads numerous times. We have agreed to disagree on things, but there is a genetic predisposition. Things are going to happen. And that's one reason why we have insurance, is so if, God forbid, you have a traumatic event, something happens, one of your children, that's the reason what we have that for. What I would like to see as far as the education, like I was speaking about earlier, is to be able to utilize what we're actually paying for and what the county is paying for. And as Terry and I had the conversation, you have to start somewhere. You have to start with education. You have to give all of the employees, you need to give them time to say, hey, I didn't even know that I even had this option. I didn't know that this was offered to me for free. I didn't read this, or I missed this. And so that's what I'm talking about as far as the education. Let's start somewhere. Like Terry was talking about, everyone running to the emergency room and stuff. Well, if they know that they have this telemed option that they can sit at home and, and they can take care of some of those issues, they need to know, hey, you can do this versus going in and paying $100, $150 for an ER visit.
Right. I'll use a Craigism.
I'm
I'm gonna use a Craigism.
Are you sure you want to do that?
If you have a toolbox, but you keep that toolbox locked, you can't get into it, you've lost the key, you can't use it. So, and that's kind of what we've done, is we've locked the toolbox on all these benefits.
Yeah.
So,
Just right.
all right.
I understand
I feel
that.
like-
They don't speak our language.
I feel like I don't just speak for myself. I feel like I speak for a lot of us in this room. Just because we have insurance, we are not abusing it.
Sure.
I don't run to the emergency room when my kid is sick. I make a doctor's appointment. And just like Leanne said, $25 as a single parent is a lot of money. So, I don't think anybody here abuses the insurance. It's not, well, my kid's got the sniffle, let me run him to the ER. The deductible for the ER has always kept me from going to the ER.
Yeah, why pay $100 when you
Yeah,
can pay $25?
exactly.
Yeah, and we do have a walk-in clinic.
And you
so-
don't just pay $100. That $100 is
That-
only
that's
for the
just the
emergency room.
tip
That
of
does
the
not
spear.
cover the doctor.
Right.
That does not cover any of that. So you don't just get a $100
And
cost.
I don't know if it's still the same, but it used to be where those ER doctors were out of network.
Yes.
And they still are.
And they still are. So, and that's part of the education that we need to have have out there.
Nobody is, I'm not saying anybody abuses it, because I don't, it's like everything else. I don't know, so why would I make a judgment call? I'm simply presenting what we think, I think, is best for y'all, most affordable.
And I appreciate that.
And now that and I've got the deal for blood pressure. Of course, I argued with it for a while, because I said it wasn't mine. Come find out it was, but we'll talk about that later. But I have that, okay? It's free. And if we can get all this stuff, which is our safety meeting, obviously that's what's gonna come up.
Yep.
And I don't know why, if you want to partake in that and do your part in lowering our claims, it's available. There ain't no push, no force, but we're doing as best we can to keep from anybody getting a pay cut. You know, heard me say that before. We went through this one time before. And you're all getting rich. Just ask anybody outside this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
So just to touch on our safety meeting, since we have that discussion going on, Kathy Davenport with TAC, who's our health insurance representative, will be here talking about our health insurance, along with Stacy Burlington, who will be talking about the TAC wellness side of things. That will be going on the 15th and the 14th. The 15th will be the lunch where most of the employees will come to. So I encourage everybody to come to that. There'll be a lot of information given out during that time. Also, this year, our open enrollment, which is scheduled in late August, will be a little bit different. We'll have Catapult out, which will be doing annual physicals. This annual physical is not your only annual physical you can receive. You can still get an annual physical with your doctor. But I highly suggest getting an annual physical with Catapult, because we will have them out year after year, and they will keep track, and you can see how your numbers change as we make lifestyle changes to better help our insurance. Getting things diagnosed early is always better than not knowing. So get your annual physicals done, go to the doctor when you need to. That's not what's driving our costs. So don't be afraid to go to the doctor. Please get your annual physicals and take those steps that are needed for your own health. So thank you.
And that goes against human nature. It really does.
It does, yeah.
But
I ain't going to the doctor.
no, I ain't sick.
You might find out something.
Right.
So
Denial's better.
that's something I'm sure we could all work on.
Right.
And I'll include myself.
So I expect, the whole commissioner's court Catapult to get your blood test done.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there.
I just had mine
They do
tested.
that here somewhere?
At the armory. I've already got with Melissa.
You don't have to go far.
Don't have to go
Yeah.
far.
When is
So,
that?
we're looking at the 24th, 25th, and 23rd, 24th, and 25th of August. And so we'll have TACA out, so you can meet one-on-one with TAC representatives. We'll have Arasi out. They do things a little different now, so we're still getting things worked out with them. We'll have, your nationwide, your AFLAC. We'll have an open enrollment event, so that if y'all want to make sure somebody's coming out, and you don't think I've invited them, please let me know, and I will get them invited to talk to our employees. So.
Thank you. Kyle?
I just want to make a real quick point. I appreciate y'all, hashing this out and trying to take care of us. But I do want to just point out, and I think maybe this gets lost, but the benefits package that we get here is part of our salary. And I know our salaries are low for the most part, so we came to work here because of the benefits, and not only because of that, but that's what comes along with the job. And if you take those each year, then it's gonna be hard to keep good people employed. And, I agree with what y'all are proposing, you know, everything's gonna go up every year. And, so I hope in the future that we can just kind of plan for this every year, that it's gonna go up. Hopefully not this much, but, you know, it's something that healthcare costs are gonna go up every year. And, you know, these medical facilities that missed out on funds last year, are gonna make up for that, sure. So, I just wanted to reiterate that it is part of our salaries when we're hired on. And, but I know things are gonna change, so, I'm, you know, supportive of what y'all are suggesting.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. So I just want you to know that, you single parents are the ones that I have kept in mind the most on all of this. And we didn't take this lightly, you know, in the years past, we've kind of gone through it and it's been pretty quick. This is our third meeting on this. So we have taken this very seriously. You are Scurry County. You are what makes us a great community and a great place to be. I know that, and I believe these guys know that too. Without you, there would be no Scurry County. I've said that before, and I'll say it until, you know, my last breath. But I appreciate every one of you and everything that you do for us, and I don't want to lose a single one of you. So, but that's the plan that I think we should go with.
And I agree with the judge. I think that's a good start, coupled with education. And I want to leave you on a positive note, and I really appreciate every one of you and the work you do. And nobody knows that comes in and utilizes your department has a clue really of what you do and how much duration that you take from them. I hear it at the tax office all the time, and I know that it's in other places as well, especially on hot checks and county clerks whenever they can't give them the birth certificate whenever they want it right now. And it goes right on up. I want to leave you with a positive note. There's a book called Radical Hope by Tracy Turner. Listen to it, because those of you that have autoimmune disease, or your children do, or someone that you know that has cancer, it's absolutely amazing, and it will help you. I've lost lots of loved ones to cancer, very young relatives, niece, 33 years old, mother-in-law, sister-in-law. I've seen it, and we're seeing it more and more, and they're saying right now that it won't be, do you have cancer? It will be, what kind of cancer do you have, or did you have? Radical Hope by Tracy Turner. You can get it on Audible book from Amazon. It's amazing. It will lift your spirits.
Good. Any more thoughts, questions?
My one thought is, I appreciate the lady sitting right there.
Our treasurer.
We're working, and they're still working themselves to death last month. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Well, y'all are very
Absolutely.
welcome, and I appreciate y'all coming and asking questions and, you know, looking at all the options. It hasn't been an easy road. I don't think we ever thought we would see a 12% increase like we have this year. So doing what's best for our employees in our county, I know that's always what's on the forefront of your mind. So thank you.
Well, this is one of them deals where there's not a right answer, but there's the better one. And like I said, I don't want to do it to y'all, but I think it's still, if you'll compare it, still above and beyond what anybody else has to a point. As far as, because it's identical other than the deductible and the $100. So whatever benefits you've been getting out of the 500 deductible is still there, other than the 1,500 out of pocket. So, and I don't like it. But the only thing worse it's still, for what you get, it's still a decent cost. And this way, we can keep it down to $8. And then, did you say $20 for the family?
Mhm.
And I appreciate everybody's thoughts. You don't think about that unless it affects you. But you need to remember there's probably more that it does affect than it doesn't. And I'm talking about the single mothers, the single dads. Yes.
Just to clarify, the county is absorbing the 8 and 20, not employees, right?
Well, that hadn't been voted on yet, but that's part of the
proposal.
discussion.
Okay.
That was my proposal.
But it's, but you're right. Something's gotta give.
Even though I got insurance, should have vote.
Yeah.
If you,
I didn't know what
there's a reason we have good employees. And like I said, you're not getting rich, but you're the only ones that think that. And I meant that tongue in cheek. Because if you go outside, we all are. But we're doing our best. And we hope, nobody can make anybody do what TAC offers. Nobody. We're not gonna make you. Nobody is. But, it might, one of them little devices might inform you of something you can stop before it gets started very good. And it doesn't cost anything. And it's gonna take us all. Okay, I'll shut up. I'm done.
Anybody like to make a motion?
I make a motion, we change insurance plans to the 1300 NGS with a prescription option, and Scurry County absorb the difference.
That was hard for you.
What?
For me. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yes and no.
I know.
Second.
Hey, what about me signing?
And allow the judge to sign, how is that worded? Authority to sign renewal.
All right. Just give me your time. All in favor? Not because of,
Money vote.
no, it's more about. Everybody, I want to thank you all for coming. I appreciate every one of you, and you were all great. All right, court to review and accept training hours of county auditor. Angela's gotten some hours. 5 hours. 20 hours.
Could we have an applause, please?
Have what?
Applause.
For Angel. Right.
But it was difficult for all of us last year.
Make a motion to accept county auditor hours.
Second.
All in favor? All right, let's do line item transfers and budget amendments.
There are 2 line item transfers. The first one is the county clerk's office, $104 into other equipment out of regular equipment. That's just a stand-up desk. Actually, there's 3. Sorry, there was one stuck behind there. The other one is the health unit, 500 into utilities out of travel expense, help cover the utilities for the water and gas. And then the last one is golf course maintenance, repair, etc. 5,000 into there out of utilities to balance the line.
Okay.
The others are budget amendments.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and do
Yes,
these.
ma'am, please.
I have 3 budget amendments. The first one is Commissioner's Court and Precinct 1 Commissioner Court auto expense, $1,500 Not enough to cover the hail damage and repairs and maintenance for, I guess, the glass and stuff like that on your truck, for Terry's commissioner truck. And second one is Road and Bridge Precinct 2. This is for capital outlay, $99,152.59. Purchased a compactor with the remainder of the funds that he had received from that damaged road. And the last one is EMS, capital equipment, $23,452. Transferred from his grants to pay for the Hamilton ventilator.
Just the
No, this is the
To pay
ventilator.
for your compactor.
That's your compactor. No, that's the one that you got from Jim. You purchased it.
Oh, okay.
Good
job. Live transfer to budget amendment.
All right, all in favor? All right. Accounts payable.
Accounts payable is $232,772.63.
Motion for the bills.
All in favor? Yes, everybody. We need to take a short break?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll go take a short break and then we'll go, when you get back, we'll go into, I'll get back, we'll go into executive session. Bill, any questions?
Oh, I got lots of questions. Do you have copies of this stuff?
Yes.
Budget amendments and line item transfers.